Mael is absolutely broken, and Expedition 33 is not even out yet. Please, Sandfall, this is not an outcry to nerf this character in any way. I'm just incredibly excited. She is a stance character that can swap between different modes, and depending on certain battle requirements, this can give her unique buffs. One of the first stances that we get is called Virtuos. You don't start off with it, you actually start off stanceless and have to get into Virtuos, which we can activate this move by using the move Swift Stride on a burning enemy. The enemy has to be burned in order for this to put her into the Virtuos stance, which is pretty easy to do because Lune, another character, has tons of burn capabilities that can set this up very easy. Now, when you're in Virtuos mode, you can actually use moves that are exclusive to this mode. Per se, for example, does incredible damage, which easily breaks the 1000 barrier and double that even further, hitting 2000 very early on in this preview. The previous trailers have also shown off capabilities of Mael before, showing her completely shattering the damage limit barrier with ease, hitting insane numbers. So far, it's unknown if this is exclusive to her alone, or you have to have a specific equipment of gear or skills active. I can hit 9,999 currently with Gustav in the demo preview, thanks to element weakness, but we're gonna have to wait and see for the full game just how many people can actually break the limit in this. Special thank you to Sandfall Interactive for letting me preview this for you guys. Expedition 33 is absolutely fantastic. In case you guys missed it, we streamed 5 hours of gameplay. I have it linked down below so you can go ahead and check it out and see our live reaction to it and things that we discovered. But while you're at it, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. The help rate's at 38%, even higher, and so you don't miss out on any Expedition 33 information, because that game's dropping in a month from now, guys. It's gonna fly by like nothing. This game has tons of awesome mechanics, and the way battles are done, it's completely reshaped my ideas on turn-based. I think that going forward, they've paved an awesome path for the genre to continue using turn-based and making them reactive-based, giving people more things to do within its system. You simply can't put the controller down while you're battling. I mean, you totally can if you want to tank the damage, but it gives you so many opportunities to negate or even dodge it, which is amazing to see because this game is absolutely a love letter to the RPG series. We have great titles throughout the years like Legend of Dragoon and Lost Odyssey that have done things like this, but I think Expedition 33 very well will be inspiring many studios to come back to this style of gameplay. Pictos are skill enhancements that can actually dramatically change the way that you play the game. Similar to any skill changing system, they can upgrade your moves or unlock characteristics that were previously not possible. Normally, dodging in combat, for example, is very easy to pull off, but it doesn't reward you with any AP to attack back with. But one of the first Pictos that you get makes it so that whoever equips this can actually dodge and gain AP from it. There's also passive stats that are pretty damn good that you can gain with this too. This one, for example, gives 12 speed and 3% crit rate boosted. Interesting to note, this is also saying it's at level 1, so we can seemingly increase its power as we progress, making early game Pictos still retain good value later on. But this is just the basic first example, because later on we receive all kinds of unique stuff, like being able to apply a mark on an enemy for bonus damage by free-shotting at them, which Gustav can do already with an ability, but it does take a turn. But if you slot this on somebody, or even Gustav himself, it'll make it possible to just mark enemies by just shooting them and using less AP. Lune has a lot of burn moves as well, but she can fully use Burning Shots Picto, which will give her a 20% chance that her free shot will burn an enemy. Stuff like this is really exciting because very early on we can burn enemies and of course set Mael up for making crazy big damage. We can take this a step further and even use Lumina, which is an awesome mechanic. I didn't even see that was possible until after my playthrough with the demo. We can passively equip more than 3 Pictos on a character, depending on how many Lumina points we have, and by leveling them up, we can equip even more on them across all the characters. It doesn't appear to take on their passive stats though, which would be insanely broken. I hope there's a way to do that, but the abilities are very much on in combat. So you can make your top 3 Pictos be the passive stats that you want for that character, and then you can focus on the Lumina to gain the abilities and prioritize more damage via crit, HP, defense, as well as speed. A really awesome system that we get a sneak peek at right here, but I could already tell we're gonna have some pretty busted combinations later on. Gustav has a fantastic mechanic that I wasn't even using properly at all. His overcharge with his bionic arm. Each melee attack that Gustav hits can build up his overcharge. Up to 10 hits is required in order to use it, but it has to be melee hits, not free shots. So using his Lumiere Assault, which hits up to 5 or 6 times, is a great way to build this up rapidly in battle. And combining Pictos that also net him a return on AP, you can easily get overcharged to land within the first 3 moves of combat, Really satisfying move and extreme damage when you have it fully maxed out. You can totally use it without overcharge being fully maxed out. It just doesn't do as much damage and it doesn't hit multiple times. So if you really want the big boom, you gotta go for it. Weapon levels also can be increased with chroma currency. We get these pieces that we can use at camps. You actually have to go around the corner at the camp in order to talk to this vendor that you meet later on in the story. The first levels of these say that we can increase to level 3 of the weapons as the max, but after that we can increase the levels even further, but it requires polished chroma catalysts, which are not available currently in the preview, but using these we can take the weapons to even higher levels, which means that we're gonna have a deep leveling system within this game, and weapons gained earlier on will retain good use even in the late game, which is something that I'm really glad RPGs are doing now. Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth have a good system like this, where the Buster Sword from the original game normally would be swapped out ASAP for something else, but now each weapon is unique and continues to grow with the character as you play through the story. Truly a really fantastic progression system. We can also battle a traveling merchant to prove our worth, which will allow us to buy exclusive new items that were otherwise blocked off from obtaining. Another thing too with this special shop at the camp, we're also able to increase our character's Lumina. I was able to raise everybody up to 20, but you could of course adjust this however you want. This makes it so that I could equip more Lumina and more Pictos passively to them, which again comes from another currency that we can get through the game. There's just going to be a lot of customization in this, and I'm already loving what I'm seeing. Multi-hitting moves are amazing to use on solo enemies as well. Normally if a move hits multiple targets, it's usually weaker in most games, but in this game, it's providing the right amount of usage. But of course, it does cost more AP to use, but the best part is, status effects like Wildfire on Lune, for example, it'll burn enemies more often than her level 1 fire attack. And if it isn't evident enough, I mean, status elements are going to be super important in this game. We already talked about how Mael can take advantage of burned enemies and go into her powerful stance, but throughout my entire playthrough with Lune, I kept burning enemies and using her ice attack, which absorbs the heat from the enemy and gives her back a lot of AP to even use more abilities earlier on in battle than she could have. Really fantastic implementation there. Free shots are basically free damage, but they do cost AP, so you shouldn't go spamming it unless you use one character to spam it and let's say place a mark on an enemy or have them burn them. Then you can have the other teammates deal massive damage to said enemy after. This game is incredibly versatile and we haven't even scratched the surface yet. Gustav can be marking enemies from his gunshots, or Lune can be burning enemies from shots herself. Either one sets up Mael extremely well to deal big time damage. You could even swap the two if you wanted to. Have Gustav set it up to burn enemies and have Lune set it up to mark enemies, which would actually be even better, I think. If you had Gustav to start off the battle, usually he starts off and he fires off shots completely, he has an opportunity to burn enemies there, and if not, then Lune can burn with her regular moves. Either way, both of them set up Mael for extreme damage. The timing of attacks is very easy to do. I often found myself landing the perfection timing, but I imagine the difficulty will increase as we get more skills, and stronger skills that is. And we'll have to eventually learn a rhythm. Defense at first is kind of daunting, but it does become insanely addicting once you learn the timing of the attacks. The preview only shows us small examples of dodging, parrying, and jumping, and never actually forces us to mix all three into one particular situation. But I've seen in the trailers, especially after the preview is done, they actually show us a trailer when you complete it, there's a lot of enemies that are forcing you to jump, dodge, and parry multiple times in some enemy attacks, which is going to be making those no damage playthroughs even crazier to master. Because the devs have said it themselves that this is entirely possible, we just got to have the skills to be able to pull it off, which I am more than happy to learn. New outfits in the preview are obtainable through the playthrough, mostly during those crazy optional boss encounters we come across. So I wonder if that's what we're going to be doing in the full launch of the game, and essentially how we will unlock new outfits. The baguette outfit that I unlocked for Gustav was only given to me after beating an optional mime enemy that was also wearing it. So I wonder if this is the system that we can expect on full game's release, and is this how we're gonna have to do it? Expedition 33, I played a solid 4 to 5 hours of already, and somehow it didn't feel like it was enough, which is a good sign that we are in for a banger of a title, mainly because I can't stop thinking about it. I genuinely enjoyed my time with this game, and I'm looking forward to next month when we're all actually playing this and actively trying out new builds and seeing what kind of crazy damage numbers we can pull off. The gameplay loop is very addicting, and I found myself constantly pushing my skills in battle to master the risky high reward parries versus dodging or trying to jump over attacks. I also almost forgot, the game immediately lets you select hard mode from the jump. So if you really want a challenge, like a brutal actual challenge, you can try it out. I tried it out, got my ass kicked a couple times, but I got better from it. So definitely on day one, I'll be doing exactly the same thing. There's also tons of bosses scattered around that are optional, and you can backtrack quite often. So if you find yourself having some tough times with ones, you can go grind, as you usually could back in the day, and come back and clap their cheeks. If you guys are excited for more Expedition 33, be sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you are new. More content is on the way, and you don't want to miss it. My name is BltzZ, and thanks for watching.